You're listening to the Let's Not Do This podcast. The Big O, Leon Oliver, sitting alongside the three unwise men, one Scotty Too Hottie and one Chris Green. And here we are on the night before college football changes forever with the first ever 12-team college football playoff game between Indiana and Notre Dame. We'll get to that a little bit later. We got Thursday night football this evening with Denver and I almost said San Diego, Los Angeles renewing a AFC West rivalry. Boys, how are you doing? Chris, you look less homeless than usual. How are you, sir?
Yeah, I found my hat again. It looks terrible up top, but I got the hat. So I'm okay. Feeling a little under the weather today, but we're soldiering on. Have to be on the podcast. I missed it last week, right? I can't remember.
Your visits here are so unmemorable that we just don't really remember when you're here or not.
Wow. You act like I'm fucking some rando hosting Saturday Night Live.
You called it a visit.
That's insulting to say the least.
My insults mean to cut, and this is the holiday giving, so I was giving you some holiday barbs there. Scotty, how are you, sir?
Oh, not too bad. I got one more day of work tomorrow, and then I work Monday, and then that's it. Off the rest of the week, next week.
I thought you were just gonna quit, like in general in life, just travel the rails like a homeless person.
Not yet. One day I will be a professional gambler. That will be my job. But I'm in another pattern of having some bad beats every day for the last 4 or 5 days. Fucking basketball is the worst, man.
You delight the group chat every day with your stories of how you lose money, and it makes me quite happy, actually. Fewer things that I look forward to than seeing those. Another thing I look forward to is more you people liking and subscribing to the show. Make sure to do that. The bottom right corner, if you're watching live on YouTube right now, go ahead and click that and subscribe. And for the rest of you can also do this as well. Like and subscribe. Look at that. I don't know if you can still hear me while that's playing, but yeah, like and subscribe. Put your notifications on.
We hear you, unfortunately.
There we go. Be a friend and tell a friend. Do all that good stuff right there.
It's like just takes a second.
Indeed.
You sacrifice nothing.
And it makes a difference. And it gets some of those, you've been watching Simple Plan music videos from, 2003 or something like that. It gets that out of your algorithm and get some quality stuff like this podcast in there as well. All right, boys. So we got a lot to get to. We mentioned a couple bowl game. We mentioned NFL. We got Google Street View narking on people. We got college football players seeming like they're going to be able to play college football for eternity. The New York Jets apparently have outsourced their scouting to EA Sports, and a funeral home doing liquor sales. And also we have drones all over America attacking us one day. I don't know. We'll see. So we got a lot of stuff.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. I guess
pretty sure I know who that is, but hey, Justin Jeffs.
What's up, JJ?
Hey, fuck you, JJ. Okay.
Wow.
I lost a parlay because of Justin Jefferson dropping a touchdown pass and getting tackled at the 1 yard line. And then also it helped me in the loser bracket of a fantasy league I'm in too. So Justin Jefferson is on my shit list. He gets a lump of coal for me.
That's okay, because if that's who I think it is, he lost our fantasy matchup because of Justin Jefferson.
There we go. So
maybe that isn't who I think it is. Jefferson maybe that's just somebody. Maybe that's somebody we don't know, and you just roasted him for no reason.
I'm not roasting him. I'm roasting Justin Jefferson. I like Justin.
He's a Broncos fan.
Broncos fan. Okay, that's definitely not who I thought it was. Sorry.
Hey, I'm
appreciate you often, Justin.
Broncos country. Let's ride. Let's go. Let's just not ride out to a roar.
You're not going to like this segment upcoming from me.
It's not going well out there. All right. Well, let's get into it. Speaking of football, let's get into the New York Jets here off the top. The tale of the Jets continues. This story coming out. Diana Rossini, formerly of NBC, whatever, formerly of ESPN, now with The Athletic. Story came out that apparently the Jets wanted to swing a trade for Jerry Jeudy, but Woody Johnson, the owner, apparently put the kibosh on this because his Madden rating wasn't high enough. His
The new
Madden.
Dan Snyder.
What say you, boys?
Straight up. This is straight up Dan Snyder mode. This is me when I was 15 years old and wondering why the top-rated free agent in Madden, why aren't the Redskins signing him? He's a 78 left guard. We need a guard. Why aren't you signing him? What are we doing here?
Dan Snyder was playing. I mean, this was Dan Snyder back in the day because you look, we're going to go get Bruce Smith. He was good one day. We're going to get Deion Sanders. He was once good. It was like all the over-the-hill free agents just accumulated there. But this is the exact opposite. Now, my one thing I will say, we got here, Broncos going to kick them tonight. We'll see there, Justin. Love you guys. Love you too there, bud. We'll get to the Broncos a little bit later. We'll see how that goes. But one thing I will say, the Jets, I will defend Woody Johnson a little bit there. Those ratings are damn good. They send the adjustments out to games all the time, to the practices and everything. They have a lot of data. I'm not saying make your personnel decisions on it, but this isn't like using Madden in 1993. Like now.
They don't have – oh, my God, dude. They don't have a lot of data. They have somebody that goes to a practice. And then sometimes the players will talk to them, into them, to get them to raise their speed or acceleration or whatever. No.
Dude.
None of those guys are NFL scouts, because if they were, they'd be NFL scouts. They're not getting paid more by EA because EA sucks.
Jerry Jeudy in Denver was not being used right. He hated the team. He hated the environment. And look what he's in Cleveland now, and he's fucking balling out. It wasn't his Madden rating would have been terrible because he was in Denver and he didn't want to be there. This guy is become a huge difference maker in the second half of the season, at least. That's why they were comfortable with trading Amari Cooper. I don't know what the fuck the Broncos' problem was. Probably Sean Payton, Scotty's best friend.
Where are you broadcasting from? Are you in the Space Shuttle Discovery? It sounds like a goddamn wind tunnel up there.
Does it?
Are you going into is Elon Musk sending you to Mars? Because I would love that, actually.
You don't sound any different than Leon or any different than you usually do.
I don't know. I'm just hearing like a wind turbine or something in there in your factory of sadness up there. But I digress. Go on, sir.
Maybe your call center headset is having some distortion.
Hey, I got Bangladesh on line 2 here.
That might be
racist. Either way.
Thank you.
That might be racist. I can't stop it.
Right. Woody Johnson's a moron. Not going to go into any of that further. I am upset with this article because this pretty much absolves Aaron Rodgers' bullshit because the franchise is such a fucking shit show. Aaron Rodgers is a major contributing factor to why they suck. And this is going to absolve him of this.
Au contraire, my friend. I'm glad you brought that up because Aaron's been taking a lot of flack there. So this from DraftKings, they had posted this on Instagram. A couple stats here that
sponsor us, but this is bullshit.
All right, well, let's take a look here.
They're just reporting it's not DraftKings.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they put the post
his numbers.
Yeah.
His numbers.
So Aaron Rodgers, almost 3,300 yards passing, 23 touchdowns, 8 picks. He can break the Jets' all-time passing record with 240 yards per game across the final 3 games. Now, albeit, yes, there is one more extra game that, Vinny Testaverde and Chad Pennington and, Joe Namath didn't get back in the day. I get that. But still, and then you go to one more graphic here. Right now, he's averaging 227 through the air, 13. He's got 13 touchdowns, 1 pick, and a 102 QB rating over the last 7 weeks. They're playing better football. He was a problem early on, but he's figured some things out. And I think they've gotten a little bit healthier. And I think getting Devontae back and getting him back on the same page, I think that means a lot.
Does it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Also, Aaron
Rodgers he is playing better than what
as Zach Wilson the last 3 years combined.
Yeah, and Zach Wilson
he's not playing as bad
for 3 more wins last year with less touchdowns.
they've been so dinged up this year. But Scotty, go on.
I'll say he hasn't been as bad as we're saying he has been, but he did start off terrible. That's why it's hard to break that. His first impression in New York is kind of hard to break that as a quarterback. He has been playing better, but he still hasn't been great. And now he's coming out kind of not begging, but kind of begging to stay in New York, saying, "Oh yeah, I understand they might get a quarterback, and if they do draft a quarterback, I'll be here to mentor him." Like, that's not you. That's not Aaron Rodgers. What are you doing? You're just saying, "Hey, don't release me."
When
You're not
when
going
he
to
first
mentor
got
a
there, he
quarterback.
talked about spending time with last year when he was hurt. He was mentoring Zach, spent time with him. Seemed like he
Was
liked
he?
him. Yeah, I mean, all I'm got to go by is what he
was
says.
in
None of us
fucking
are in the room.
Malibu for 90% of the season last year.
When he came back, he was around him and mentoring him and teaching him things. They had conversations and all via FaceTime and everything. Talked about it on McAfee a lot. I haven't watched those Tuesday interviews really this season. I used to religiously watch those. But all I can go is what the man said. None of us are in the room.
That's what he said. What did Zach Wilson say?
Well, Zach Wilson's got other things to worry about, like finding real estate next year, because I don't know if he'll be back in Denver.
What does his mom say, more importantly?
yes. We all want to know what Zach Wilson's mom says.
I think as soon as everybody in the Jets watches that documentary, I haven't watched it yet, but I can only imagine it's going to make him look really goofy and probably lose the respect of his teammates. So, they'll have a new quarterback next year.
Yeah.
Well, moving on from Aaron, another team that stakes in Gotham here. I saw this, I had to put this out there. The New York Football Giants have not won at MetLife Stadium since January 7th. The New York Rangers have won at MetLife Stadium since the New York Giants have last won a game there. Is that not one of the wildest stats you've ever seen?
It's pretty crazy. I can't wait for Daniel Jones to end up, because something's going to happen to Sam Darnold. Like in the first playoff game, they're going to be up. Sam Darnold's going to get hurt, and then Daniel Jones is going to end up starting in like a divisional playoff game.
It'd be so awesome.
Oh, he'll probably win. He'll probably be in the conference championship starting and then get blown out.
That would be amazing.
He's got New York Jet free agent signing written all over him.
They're going to need a quarterback next year. So
yeah. All right. Well, one guy that won't be their quarterback is Diego Pavia, who apparently is returning to college, back to Vanderbilt. Diego, if you're not following, apparently sued the NCAA. Remember, he spent some time in a junior college before going to New Mexico State and then going to Vanderbilt. Well, he was granted a preliminary injunction here, and he is going to be eligible to play in 2025. This is a game changer right now. All the guys that have gone to junior college, community college, whatever it is, you give up that year. Some guys, maybe they go to Ole Miss. It doesn't work out. They go to JUCO for a year. Or Cam Newton, you get in trouble at Florida. You go to JUCO. Then you go to Auburn. You give up that year. Now you're saying these guys can potentially get this year back now? And it kind of goes down to it affects their time to earn, especially with NIL. And when this House versus NCAA ruling gets done, we're essentially going to see them classified as employees. So this is a game changer. What do you guys think about this? Scotty, I'll start with you because I don't know if Chris knows what an injunction is.
I mean, I think it will have some good points and some bad points. I guess we'll have to see what the final regulations on it are. But I mean, I guess it's kind of fair because when you're in JUCO, you're not really in college. It's not like you can go to the playoff or be in the rankings or play any real teams or anything. You're just playing other JUCOs. So, I mean, I don't know. I think it could be kind of good because you could have a lot of players that go to JUCO and refine their skills for a year or two, and then maybe you'll have a better product in the NCAA. But then again, you might just have a bunch of freshmen that are going JUCO just to go to JUCO, just so they can get better. And then, so I don't know. I guess it's kind of a double-edged sword here. But I mean, it kind of makes sense. All these guys get 4 or 5, maybe 6 years to make some money. So, yeah, I mean, good for them. I like it.
Go out and do it. Chris, before I go to you, I'll tell this story real quick. I used to do a radio show with a well-known prep football coach here in Virginia. And, a lot of guys would stop at that school, do a prep year, and then go on, to college somewhere. And Burt Reynolds showed up once. This kid was committed to Florida State and was going to flip to go to Miami. Apparently Bobby Bowden gets on the horn. Burt Reynolds shows up, walks in there, comes out. That boy was made to be a Seminole. Leaves. Coach Bowden makes the phone call. Everything's good afterwards. Good to go. So I just wanted to toss that little story in there. Burt Reynolds may be doing some illegal recruiting there for Florida State back in the day. R.I.P. to both of those guys.
My mom.
How long ago was that? And did this kid know who Burt Reynolds was?
Oh, this was like in the 90s. Like Burt Reynolds was Burt Reynolds back then, Carla, hi. Merry Christmas to you. Santa Claus is coming to town. And for your Christmas wish, Carla, you're a very sweet lady. I wish that Chris never sets foot in your home again. I know that you'll be very happy about that too.
Wow.
Don't call my mom a sweet lady. Watch yourself.
She loves me.
The National Junior College Athletic Association released a statement. They talked about it, a 2-year governing body, blah, blah, blah. They're going to do everything to continue to support the interests and opportunities for the student athletes. I can tell you one guy that's not happy about this, though, is Steve Sarkisian, head coach at Texas. Now, this is a snippet from an On3 article, but he says he totally disagrees. We're going to have guys 28, 29 years old playing college football.
Has he never played against BYU? They're in the conference now.
Texas is gone.
They're the Big 12.
Texas is in the SEC.
Yeah, I guess he dodged that bullet.
But he's also wrong because the COVID guys are leaving now. The guys that have been there for 6-7 years, you're not going to see that anymore.
But if you can go to JUCO, think about it.
8-9 years.
If you can go to JUCO, and let's say you're 18, maybe your grades aren't great. You're Chris. Your grades are not great. You have a 1.5 coming out of high school. You go to JUCO maybe for 2 years. You get those grades up. You go to ODU. You barely squeak in, but you go to ODU. And then you know what? You go there. You play a year or two. Maybe you flunk out. Maybe you wind up back at JUCO again for a couple more years, and then you wind up at Middle Tennessee State. I mean, it could happen.
They're going to have to
only
put
go
a
to JUCO
limit
for
on
2
the
years.
JUCO. Yeah.
Yeah, JUCO is 2 years.
Yeah, I know it's 2 years, but if you take the parameters off where they lose a year, there's got to be some guardrail somewhere because maybe Kristen goes and gets an associate's in air conditioning repair. And then the second time around he goes to JUCO, he gets an associate's in truck driving. It's a totally different program.
No, you get 2 years in JUCO.
Yeah, but couldn't you get another associate's if it's not counting against your 4 years? Couldn't you conceivably go back a couple times?
They're gonna close that loophole.
Yeah. Also, what's to prevent a program from using it as a quasi like minor league program?
Don't they already do that?
Well just think about this.
That's what they're doing now.
Isn't that what Last Chance U is all about?
Yeah.
Well,
no,
they're not. There's
Last
no
Chance U guys.
Yes, they took a lot of the JUCOs, but there's no like official affiliation. Take a school. I'm just going to say Wyoming. They're the only D1 program in that state. You got community colleges there. Let's say you're Wyoming. You're the only D1 program. You work with the community colleges. Hey, I want to sign all these kids, but we don't have X amount of scholarships available. You send them to Laramie Community College for 2 years.
I don't see a problem with that.
Understanding that they're going to go to Wyoming. Now you essentially have a de facto minor league for you, a funnel program.
Yeah, I don't see a problem.
Yeah, but then if somebody overperforms and Alabama comes and says, "Hey, come to us instead," I'm like, "All right, see you, Wyoming."
Oh yeah, I mean that's always the risk.
To that. Yeah, so I mean that's kind of how it is now.
I don't see a problem with that at all. What? So is there a difference between prep school and JUCO?
Yes.
Does prep school count against you?
Prep school does not count against you. Prep school is essentially like it's kind of like doing an extra year of high school. And you get some credits. JUCO is like you're at community college. Like your clock would start at JUCO of your eligibility.
So there's
Bishop
really
Sycamore was a prep school, right?
Bishop Sycamore. Chris might have been valedictorian at Bishop Sycamore.
No, he would have been. What's the second one called? Salutatorian or something?
Salutatorian, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, people are going to find creative ways.
They're gonna
to
close
use
it and
this
say
thing.
max 2 years at JUCO to preserve your 4 years of eligibility.
And then, is there NIL? I assume there is at the JUCO level. I can only imagine like Bob's Bait and Tackle Shop sponsoring like East Mississippi Community College.
Well, Netflix is gonna sponsor whatever Last Chance U season they got, so why not?
I don't think that show exists anymore,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
it's
really?
over. I'm sad.
Yeah.
I'm sad. I wish
Yeah.
they
I
did
never saw it.
5 seasons. No, it's really good. It's but yeah, they did. It's been over for a few years now. They did like 4 or 5 seasons of football, then they went to basketball for 2 seasons.
They did like 2
stopped.
seasons of basketball.
Mm.
I watched all the
Bro,
football
watch it.
ones.
It's really good. It's not like
Yeah,
Hard
I'm not
Knocks
going
or
to.
it's
I'm
really
not.
good.
Fantastic. Speaking of which, you mentioned Hard Knocks and stuff. The Southeastern Conference has a new show that is going to be debuting on Netflix next summer. It's going to be a Hard Knocks type show, going to give unfiltered access to coaches and players in college football's most dominant conference. Now, not all the schools are participating. I read a thing earlier. It was 10 of the 16 schools. I think Ole Miss is out because they do their own kind of thing called The Season, which is like their own Hard Knocks show. I imagine that's why they're out. I know Bama isn't in it. I don't think Texas did it either. And there was somebody else toward the bottom. But I'm fascinated by this.
I'm not.
You wouldn't watch
I don't
this?
care. No. I don't give a fuck about the SEC. I want them to fucking fold.
You don't want to see
I'll tune in, but why is it going to be any different than quarterback and Hard Knocks and all that?
It's not.
You have the college.
If we're not even getting the heavy hitters.
I know why Leon's interested, because he wants to see the fraternity girls in the background.
Sorority girls.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah, I want to see what life is like for Carson Beck at Georgia. You know what I mean? Like, what's it like when that guy goes to? I almost said Bodo's. That's a Charlottesville bagel spot. I don't know what the bagel spot is in Athens, Georgia. Did he even have them? Let's say he goes to get a bagel on a Saturday morning. What's that like for him on like a bye week? I want to see that.
Bro, I'm almost fucking 40. I don't care what college kids are doing anymore.
I'm intrigued by it. I want to see the coaches. I want to see the players. It's a grind, man. Like, these guys put in, I would say, even more time than NFL guys, because you have the recruiting aspect of it too. I would love to see what a assistant offensive quality control coach is doing, in his office at 3 a.m. and then he's got to get on a Southwest Airlines flight to Jackson, Mississippi to go watch a high school football game on Friday night. I'm intrigued by that.
Are they paying you? Did you get a sponsorship without us? Because it sounds like you are sucking the teat of Netflix right now.
It's like Friday Night Lights. Who pays you?
If they do show some of the like the recruiters and stuff, some of the lower guys we don't ever hear about, I think that would be cool. But if they're just going like behind the scenes of the game and all that, like we've already seen that.
No, I don't need to see, Kirby Smart go to church. I don't care about that.
Yeah.
But show me the running back coach. Show me the GA that's making $3,500 and going to grad school and trying to coach.
Yeah, show us something new. That was one of the good things about the offseason Hard Knocks with the Giants. We got to see a lot of the GM stuff that we never get to really see. And we got to see him look like an asshole getting rid of Saquon. When the one guy in the room was like, are you sure nobody's going to want him? And everybody else just stays quiet. And GM's like, no, nobody's going to want him.
Show me a sponsorship and I'll pretend to care.
Speaking of which, I forgot to go back into that last story about the guys getting their eligibility back. Someone is not in favor of it, I would imagine. And this is a Photoshop, but Hugh Freeze. People are saying he's going to have an illness when they play Vanderbilt next year, if they do, because he's tired of Diego Pavia. He's played him when he was at Liberty. His New Mexico State team beat Auburn last year. Then they beat him again this year at Vanderbilt. Hugh Freeze is sick of Diego Pavia. He wants to send this guy to the military, not back to school.
Does his hair really hang over his visor like that?
Well, I imagine it's probably a bad hair day. If you're coaching Auburn football right now, you're probably not having a lot of good hair days. I'm surprised he has that much hair left because they've had some trouble down on the plains. Do you think he would?
All right,
do you think he's going to go bald? You think Hugh Freeze is going to comb that over one day?
I don't care. I hope he gets
like
fired.
He's got some hair now.
He's a piece of shit.
I can see
His
him
name is Hugh, so he's probably gonna go bald pretty soon, I would think.
being a comb over guy. All right, let's get into some of these picks here. Starting with Thursday night. You guys want to do Thursday night football first, or you want to do tomorrow's college
Yes.
football playoff game first?
Thursday night football.
All right.
Yeah, let's get this out of the way.
For that, we go to our bets of the week. All right, our bets of the week brought to you by nobody. If you want to sponsor this, send an email to info@letsnotdothispodcast.com or hit us up at letsnotdothispodcast.com, and we can put your logo right here and sponsor this segment or the whole damn show.
Or just hit the socials, message us.
Yeah, all that. Chris, I don't know where you were pointing to, but
I was pointing to the space where we have the logo.
Okay, I was like,
where what?
We're here.
Yeah, there we go.
What?
There we go.
Right, the space is beside my head.
The space between the Wicked Lies, something Dave Matthews Band. I don't know.
What a great song.
I mean, typical UVA guy, just gotta fucking just do UVA bits the whole time. I mean, Dave Matthews bits the whole time.
Hey man, if you didn't have if you didn't have Dave Matthews CDs when you were in college, you weren't dating right. You know, that was the Midas touch, man.
You weren't dating white. Is what you mean.
Well, okay. I digress. My wife might actually
I had an iPod when I was in college, so.
Bro,
Okay.
I had the first iPod.
Me
the
too.
very first iPod when I was in college. It came free with the laptop.
I was too poor to have an iPod. Damn rich kids.
It came free with the laptop. Rich.
I bought mine myself, so.
Far from, sir.
All right, let's get into Thursday night football here. See, can we get rich making some money here? We got a little AFC West showdown. Broncos and Chargers. LA laying 2.5. That number's come down. It was 3 earlier in the week. Over under is 41.5. These numbers courtesy of ESPN Bet. 8:15 this evening on Prime Video. Scotty, you were the impetus for our graphic for the show. I actually didn't realize until I had Grok make that Sean Payton really does look like Kevin James. No wonder Kevin James portrayed him in that awful movie. But
that was so bad.
I'll put you up first, sir.
I didn't really think they looked alike. That's why I thought it was so funny. I guess maybe if Kevin James lost 50, 75 pounds, maybe.
Ooh.
I'm not calling him fat. He's a big guy. I'm not taking shots at Kevin James. He's a bigger guy.
National treasure.
I didn't think he was fat.
Hey,
yeah, he'd kick all of our ass.
Hey, Kevin James.
He absolutely could.
Kevin James is an inspiration to all fat guys everywhere, okay? You go back, you look at King of Queens. It was a classic, 90s TV trope. The fat guy, good-looking wife back in the day. Kevin James was the gold standard for us with that, you know?
I didn't call him fat. I don't think he's fat. I just think he's a bigger guy. Anyways.
Never call a fat guy big guy, by the way. We don't like that. Hey, big man, what's up? Fuck you. Anyway, go on.
I'm calling you that from now on.
Yeah, every time we see you out. What's up, big guy?
Okay, Shrimp.
But yeah, are we going to me for the bets first?
Yes, we're going you first.
All right. I bet against the Broncos last week, and Jonathan Taylor decided to drop the ball before he crossed the goal line. They would have lost that game if that didn't happen, because then they went for that stupid ass trick play that turned into a pick six, backward pass six, whatever you call it. But yeah, if Jonathan Taylor just crosses the goal line, the Colts beat the Broncos. I still think the Broncos are frauds. Like I said last week, they're just beating up on a bunch of bad teams. The Colts gifted them that game last week. Bo Nix was bad. He threw 3 picks at 130 yards. Now he's going against the Chargers team, who they're a pretty good team, and they've been on the decline for the last month or so. I think they've lost 3 or 4. But yeah, so I think that kind of plays into the Chargers' hands here. I think Justin Herbert's going to be able to turn things around. They need this game more. They're a game behind Denver. I think they're not catching Kansas City, but they're both in that wild card hunt. So, yeah, I think the Chargers need this game more. I think they're a better team. I think they're going to start turning things around. I think Denver's luck has got to run out at some point. It's not entirely luck, but they're not that good. Bo Nix is not that good. The Chargers have a pretty good pass defense. I think Bo Nix struggles, and Justin Herbert does enough to get the win and cover this 2.5.
Oh, okay. So Scotty going with the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah, I couldn't find any props I really loved. I have been doing good on props, but yeah.
Chargers you have been the Thursday night prop king there, but you're abandoning that for Chargers minus a 2.5.
Yeah, because the Broncos, you don't know what running back what the usage is going to be like. You don't know. The Broncos have a good secondary, so you don't know who's going to get the ball for them. Yeah, props are weird in this one.
Chris, you do know that the Chargers are no longer in San Diego, right?
Yeah, I don't really give a fuck about either of these teams. The AFC West has always been the most boring football I've ever watched outside of the Kansas City Chiefs.
What?
So I'm going to take this opportunity to talk about the Kansas City Chiefs instead of this game. I love Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and Taylor Swift.
You're an awful person. You're an awful person.
Was that dedicated to Leon?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
You're an awful person, and I'm going to send the Syrians to your house.
Every time growing up, when the fucking AFC West game would be the 4:00 game on CBS, I always either took a nap or went outside to play because the shit sucks.
Dude, you didn't want to watch Raiders Broncos today? Raiders Chiefs?
I hope Justin Jeffs isn't listening anymore.
I know Justin Jeffs is pissed off right now, man.
Our guy.
Sorry, Justin.
Yeah. I was just he loves us, and then I picked against him, and you shit on the whole division.
Hey, that's okay though. He's a Broncos fan. I'm going to assume that he's in the great state of Colorado. Eat some green chili, drink some Colorado native beer for me. I'm drinking some Colorado Kool-Aid this evening. Chris is a hater, but go on.
They probably hate Coors Light in Colorado.
No, neither one of these
bars, that's the beer.
Is worth more than half a fuck. So I'm going under 41.5. It's going to be boring. I'm not going to watch this game. I'm just going to make money on it.
Under 41.5 there for Chris. All right. So this game for me is intriguing. This has two of the NFL's strongest defenses here. In fact, I believe they are both tied for first in terms of points given up. It's like 17.6 points a game or something like that. They both give up. You mentioned Bo Nix and you mentioned the 3 picks last week. Yeah, it's going to happen. He's a rookie quarterback. I think he's thrown like 11 on the year, like 20 touchdowns and 11 picks. He's going to make some dumb decisions. He's still learning. He's still growing. But this team is winning in spite of that. We went through Denver last week. I know they're on the 4-game win streak. You pointed out, well, who have they beat? Yeah, the Falcons, and the Raiders, and the Browns, and the Colts. You can only play who's on your schedule. And each win, you get a little bit more confident. And each win, you get a little bit closer together. They almost beat Kansas City. They had that blocked field goal. I really think that was a turning point for them. They were playing better football going into that game, that Baltimore game withstanding. But I think that was a turning point. And I think they realize we can hang with the better teams in this league. And I think this is an opportunity to show that. I'm going to go with Denver plus the points here, but I am sprinkling Denver straight up money line here. I like the Denver plus 2.5. I almost went with the under, but anytime you have these games where you have two good defenses, just go ahead and I'm going to go Scotty logic and just go the other way. So I may sprinkle a little something on the over, but I like Denver plus 2.5.
Yeah, sorry. I didn't know what to do with the total.
That was really boring, just like this game. I fell asleep.
Fuck you.
I kind of like the over too, but it seems like all the people smarter than me like the under, so I'm not talking about you, Chris, but but I don't know, that number seems low. I feel like that 42 number came down from 42. I feel like it's going to land on 42 for whatever reason.
Cracking a hams over there.
From the land of sky blue waters. We've gone Bell's Christmas Ale.
This game
sucks. We've gone Bell's Christmas Ale, Coors Light, and now we're at Hams. We're all over the board this evening.
You just take the AFC West because this is actually an important game. Whoever wins this game is going to be. I haven't even looked at the playoff position, but
whoever wins this game gets a first round fucking ass whooping in the playoffs.
You know why Chris doesn't like the AFC West? I can tell you why. Because when he was a small boy, You know, we all grew up where we have the Redskins, the Commanders, whatever they want to call themselves. But you had the Redskins on TV at 1 o'clock on Fox. After they got the shit kicked out of them, Chris was sad and he decided to throw a temper tantrum and go to sleep. And he didn't want to see Marcus Allen go up against Al Davis. You
No, I'm
know, he
not
didn't
that
want
old.
to see that back in the day.
Well, hey,
Not that old.
back when Marcus Allen was around, the Redskins were still good.
Nah, they were so good. Okay, yeah. He didn't want to see Joe Montana as a chief, all right? He didn't want to see Jim Harbaugh as a Charger, you know? He didn't want to see all that, you know? Yeah, that's all. He's just an AFC West hater.
When was Jim Harbaugh a Charger?
He was.
He was a Colt.
I meant Stan Humphries.
Okay.
What
Stan Humphries.
Did he bounce around though? Wasn't he a Charger?
I thought Jim Harbaugh was a Charger.
I think he was a Charger at one point.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and look that up now. Jim Harbaugh's playing career, he was a Bear, a Colt, a Raven. Yeah, Chargers from 99 to 2000. Off-season member of the Lions. Finished his career with the Carolina Panthers. Did not have Carolina Panthers on my Jim Harbaugh card. If you have a Carolina Panthers Jim Harbaugh jersey and you can send us documented proof that you have it, I want to see you wearing it. I don't want to see a Photoshop. I want to see you wearing it.
But if you have
I will send you a $20 Amazon gift card if you can show me documented proof that you have a Jim Harbaugh
but it's gonna have that
Panthers jersey. Well, yeah.
That's why he's offering it up.
Exactly. There's some sick person out there that has that.
But if they have the card, that'd be cool.
I mean,
I'm sure there was a card that got released before he got released.
All right. So the recap on this Thursday night game, Chris is going under 41.5. No, Chris is going, you went under?
Yeah. Under.
Yeah. Under 41.5. Scotty's taking the Chargers minus the 2.5. Then I'm going with the Denver Broncos plus the 2.5 there in Los Angeles.
13-9 written all over it.
Yeah, maybe people will be flipping over. What awful bowl game is this evening? I built the lower third graphic with all the
game
scores.
that Chris picked?
No, that's tomorrow. The R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl is going on right now between Georgia Southern and Sam Houston. So maybe people will be flipping over to that one there instead of this game. All right, college football playoff. Let's get into that. The inaugural college football playoff. Not inaugural, but the inaugural 12-team playoff version. First game going on tomorrow. South Bend, we got Notre Dame taking on Indiana. Now, the line has moved since I built this graphic. If I can pull this thing out here, that's what she said. The line has moved. It's now Notre Dame -7, but the over-under has changed. What is it now, 52.5, boys?
I think that's 52.5, 52 or 52.5, depending on the book.
Yeah, 52.5 now on the ESPN bet, and Notre Dame -7. So disregard my over-under of 51.5 here. I'm intrigued by this, man. A little Hoosier State showdown in this one. Fun. Chris, I'll start with you on this.
Yeah, I'm not making this my official pick this week because I am just going to be rooting for Indiana. I want nothing more than Kirk Cignetti to shit all over Notre Dame. I've been to Notre Dame. I don't know if I've told you this. Been there. Not that impressed.
Did you burst into flames?
Not that impressed. No. We went and saw the Lou Holtz statue. Boring. All the old buildings. Overrated. Let's go Indiana. I hope they win. I will probably put $5 on them to win just to see because that's all I can afford. But
let's
not do this.
Go Indiana.
Yeah.
Scotty,
let's not tell people how broke we are.
Yeah. Well, no,
it's just me.
This is not the royal we. This is not the royal we.
No, it's just me.
I have overseas income sources. Scotty?
Yeah, I am looking forward to this one. I feel like we still don't know how good either team is. Both teams with subpar schedules. Notre Dame's was a little better than Indiana, but still not overly impressive. You have Indiana, they played one game against a really good team, and they lost by 23 to Ohio State. So, yeah, we really don't know how good either team is. Looking at the numbers, though, when I first looked at this game, or just from my first initial thought, was that Notre Dame is going to be too physical, kind of like Ohio State, and they were just going to beat them up. But the more I think about it, I kind of like Indiana plus the 7 here. Both of these teams' offense are top 10 in yards per play on offense with 6.7. They're both at 6.7. That's top 10. And then on defense, they're both top 6. And surprisingly, Indiana is number 2 in the country in yards per play on defense, which is pretty wild. Now, that schedule skews that a lot, but I mean, it's still pretty good no matter who you play. So, yeah, I just think these two teams are closer than a lot of the experts think, closer than I initially thought before I really looked into this game. I think Signetti is going to have the boys ready. I don't really know if Notre Dame is that good. I don't know if I'm ready to say Indiana's going to win the game outright, but I think 7 points is too many. I think it's going to be a close one-possession game. Go Indiana.
Go Hoosiers.
All right. Well, one thing I did want to bring up here for this game is weather could be a factor for this one here. Friday, we're looking at a low of 22 with 10 to 15 mile an hour winds and flurries possible there in this one. So it's going to be a chilly night there in South Bend. Listen, Indiana, Kirk Cignetti's done a fantastic job. He took a third, essentially, of JMU's roster with him. But you go back and look, who they beat this year. Their best win is like a 6-win Michigan team or whatever it is. They did not impress me when they played the big boys, Michigan and Ohio State. Their offense did not look the same against those two teams. Temperatures are going to be cold. Snow could be a factor. Barstool's got shirts now that say, for different team colors, they say 4 quarters of fuck you football. This is what Notre Dame is going to play, is 4 quarters of fuck you football. Line them up, punch them in the mouth. They're going to be more physical. They're going to be nastier. They got touchdown Jesus on their side. They got all that going on. The moment is going to be too big for Indiana. And I think Notre Dame is going to cover. I hate to say it, but I think they're going to cover this easily. I could see 13, 14-point win for the Irish, and I think they're going to beat them up. Indiana's offense is not going to look the same against bigger, stronger, faster athletes. And we saw it against Michigan. We saw it against Ohio State. They gave the blueprint. Notre Dame's going to build the house, and then they're going to knock it down. Give me the Domers -7.
You and all the dumbasses on national television talk about best wins. Let's take a look at their fucking losses. They both had one. Who was Notre Dame's loss to, Leon?
Northern Illinois.
All right, then. Who was Indiana's loss to? Ohio State.
Who was Notre Dame's best win?
Notre Dame's best win. Notre Dame beat A&M at home.
Okay, the first game of the season.
No, that was actually in Cal Station, actually. In College Station.
And that was a long time ago. And that was before A&M started playing well.
They beat Louisville. They beat Navy. They beat Army. I see a lot of
service academies. They don't count.
I see a lot of ranked
Michigan.
I see a lot of ranked teams there. They beat Georgia Tech. The same Georgia Tech
academies
team.
Don't count.
The same Georgia Tech team that took Georgia to several overtimes, took them to the wire. Those are better wins to me than look. They didn't play Penn State. Indiana didn't. They beat Michigan. They lost to Ohio State. They didn't play Oregon. Who they beat?
Like you said,
Crickets.
They beat the teams they beat the teams that were in front of them, like you just said.
Yeah. And that's why I don't believe in the Hoosiers. I like Kirk Cignetti. I think he's going to be successful there if he stays there long term, because that guy is way too talented to be at a school like in Indiana. I wouldn't be surprised if someone scoops him up after next season if he continues to have a great year. But no, the fact of the matter is, look at the wins: FIU, Western Illinois, UCLA, Charlotte, Maryland, Northwestern, Nebraska, Washington, Michigan State, Michigan, Purdue. Most of those, like a quarter of those teams, have changed coaches because they were so bad. They haven't beat anybody. And yeah, you got to play who's on your schedule. They're not ready for this. This moment is going to be too big for them, and they're not going to be able to overcome it. They're going to get punched in the mouth by a more physical team with 4 quarters of fuck you football.
Yeah, I don't think Notre Dame's schedule is that great. A&M, very first game of the season, long time ago. A&M struggled at the beginning of the year. And then you had, I'll give them Louisville, but Louisville's still not a great team. They won by, 7 against them?
Not better than Michigan.
And then service academies, they don't count because,
Not
like you
better
said,
than Michigan.
they're a physical team. So all you do, if you can stop the triple option, you're going to beat them if you're a Power 4 team. That's just how it is. So I'm not even counting those games because they're not going to see any of that against Indiana. And Indiana, you look back at that Ohio State game, they had 2 big special team plays. Ohio State did. So that game probably should have been a lot closer.
Than the last.
They had a special teams return touchdown, and then they had, I think, a weird Indiana. I think they muffed the holder or the punter or something. So yeah, I mean that game was probably a lot closer than the score indicated. You talked about their moment. That was their moment to play a real team, and I think that's going to prepare them to. I'll say Notre Dame wins by like 3 or 4, but I think
Ohio State's a way bigger deal than Notre Dame.
We don't know if Notre Dame is good or not. We still don't know.
College football playoff game at night in South Bend with those golden domes shining under the light in a packed Notre Dame stadium, nationally televised. That moment's going to be huge. This might, by the way, could be one of those things where 20 years from now, when they roll out the college football playoff highlight package, this could be like one of those establishing shots, just from an aesthetic standpoint. You got the snow coming down with the golden domes, the blue jersey, touchdown Jesus. This could be one of those like signature, oh my God, we love college football moments. And I'm really excited for this. I'm really excited for this weekend. We'll talk about this weekend's games on Saturday's Doing Line show right back here at 9 a.m. But I'm really excited for this.
Go Indiana. Fuck Notre Dame.
Now, something that no one is excited for.
Notre Dame only beat UVA by 21. So Indiana could keep it within 7.
Notre Dame could have scored 74 in that game if they wanted to. They were just trying not to get people hurt. A game that's, God damn it, Chris, this is on your card. Jesus Christ. The Staff DNA Cure Bowl. Ohio laying the 4.5, taking on the Gamecocks of Jacksonville State. Over under is 55.5 tomorrow at noon on ESPN. Both coaches are gone. Tim Albin left Ohio to go to Charlotte. Rich Rod left Jacksonville State to go back to West Virginia. Someone, if you're watching this game, if you're betting this game, you need a cure. I don't know what Staff DNA cures, but you need a cure because you have a sickness. It's called being a degenerate gambler. Apparently, Chris has it. You're up. Gamecocks and Bobcats tomorrow at noon.
Yeah, I'm going to side with the real football team in Ohio, the Ohio Bobcats. They're going to roll -4.5, easy money. They're going to be the only. Well, I don't know if that's true. They're going to be the only Ohio school to win a bowl game or win a game in the playoff this year. But I don't know if Miami of Ohio or anybody is in bowl games. I didn't do that much research. But I do know that Ohio tweeted really funny things about Ohio State, and I love them, and they're going to cover the 4.5.
Ohio University from Athens, Ohio. I believe Joe Burrow's dad coached there for a while. I believe like an assistant coach. I think he grew up there. It's a pretty shitty, poor town, if I remember correctly. But most of Ohio is pretty shitty and poor. So what are you going to do? Scotty, any thoughts on this one?
If both teams are at full strength, I'd probably take the points with Jacksonville State. But in my 10 seconds of research, I just looked up Ohio is the only team without a player in the portal. So
let's go Bobcats.
So they should be full strength. They're Ohio, I guess. I don't know.
So this will go ahead and kill it. I actually did bet Ohio minus the 4.5 because I don't know how motivated. Both teams. I got a question.
You just called me a degenerate?
Yeah.
Yes.
Or caught anybody betting on this game.
There are rules for thee, not for me. Okay, I believe the ruling class. Okay?
I hope you put this in a parlay and you miss it by one leg and it's not the same.
Oh, I'm sure I got some soccer tomorrow that's gonna fuck this up. I'm sure. All right, I'm gonna be up at 7:00 in the morning watching some soccer in countries that probably don't like us. That I'm sure will fuck
Leon,
this up.
the worst sports bettor of all time.
Yeah.
I got the over 0.5. Come on, guys.
Yeah. One goal. Give me one goddamn goal. Yeah. No. Both teams. I mean, it's weird. You see a bowl game and both teams have interim coaches, but I think it says something to the culture that Tim Albin's built there at Ohio before departing for Charlotte. That they don't have anybody in the portal. Seems like those guys are sticking around. From all accounts, it's a great little community there that they have as a college. And apparently, U.S. News and World Reports used to say it was one of the best values in education in America. That was like when I was going to college, so I don't know if that still is the case. But
is that a compliment?
Yeah, I think it's if you can find good value, like a school that's like kind of underrated. And look, Jacksonville State had a kid that we talked about before that committed to go there, that posted a graphic of Jacksonville, Florida, not Jacksonville, Alabama. So that tells me everything I need to know about Jacksonville State. Yeah, I'll take the Bobcats minus 4.5 here too.
All right, next.
Yeah.
We spent too much time on that game.
Yeah, way too much time. Well, that was the last game. We're going to get into the other stuff.
It was
Saturday.
It was almost as much time as we wasted on the AFC West bullshit matchup tonight. So,
before we go to some non-sports stuff, there was a couple things I wanted to get to here. There is a new sport apparently that's taking the world by storm, and I want to see Chris compete in this sport. You boys are familiar with UFC, obviously. Y'all are big UFC guys. You guys like Power Slap, right? You watch that?
I fucking hate Power Slap.
Incredibly stupid.
Well,
I can't watch my girl Paige Van Zandt. It hurts my heart. I've never actually watched her get hit.
Actually, that's the one I
there.
That's the
I've
one I
seen
watched.
the hand calm. I can't watch it. I can't do it.
Well, you might have a hard time with ultimate dick kicking.
1, 2, 3. Oh, he takes it like a champion. Takes it like a champion. Takes it like a champ. He's grunting. Yep.
Oh shit, this is funny.
Takes a knee. That's like a doty tap. That's a doty tap, yeah? Okay. Burn. 1, 2, 3. Ooh. Likewise.
Oh, there's a stereotype about Asians that I'm not gonna go to. Yeah, there's a joke there. I'm not gonna.
It might be racist.
Make that. Yeah, sure.
That might be racist.
But I would rather watch that than Slack Week. But that's
Chris,
not coming. No chance that comes to the States.
Chris,
They sounded American.
Chris, if I went to Costco,
not the guys in the rink,
and I bought you a case, I don't even know what denominations they sell Newports in, but if I bought you a case of Newports, would you compete in the ultimate dick kicking contest?
No.
What if I picked up your bar tab one night?
No.
I will say this.
I still use it eventually every once in a while, okay?
It wasn't a full kick.
Yeah, it was pretty light.
They didn't let them lean into it. So there must be some rules on you probably have to stand. You probably can't get any like kind of momentum or torque into it.
Could you imagine who was that guy? Was it like Miko Krokop, whatever his name was?
Mirko.
Oh,
Mirko.
Yeah.
Could you imagine that fucker kicking you in the nuts?
Justin Gaethje.
Oh, Jesus. Like literally you would see a person's nuts like leave their body. They would go airborne. Like
they would explode.
That's how you like would castrate a person essentially. It's like,
no, I'm not down with it.
No,
not my favorite.
We forgot to do the Schefter Gottlieb thing.
Oh yeah, well I'll get to that in a second here.
Okay.
The celebration yesterday, speaking of bowl games that we talked about a little bit, JMU in their bowl game. I don't know who this gentleman is for JMU, but I want him in my foxhole.
Camp to throw. Pressure. They got him. That's O'Neal. And some pushing and shoving as well. Some more of it.
So you couldn't quite see the whole thing because of the Pat McAfee show graphic. Obviously, he got from ESPN.
I saw that live.
He's loosing arrows over here.
Yeah, but you do want him in your foxhole.
Hey, that guy likes to fight guy. Okay, if you sack someone and you start dropping off arrows, he's likes to fight guy, and I want to go out with him because he's going to have my back.
You don't want to go out with him.
No, because I can walk away. But if it happens to me, likes to fight guy is going to take my back on this one. So it's like, oh, because I'm a little shit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like Scrappy Doo. That's the only thing that's little about. I'm going to annoy and antagonize, and he's gonna fight my battles for me.
It's about 4 pauses in there.
Yeah, probably so. Probably so. Oh, you mentioned before we go to some non-sports stuff, Doug Gottlieb, and I thought I had the graphic, and I think I forgot to make the graphic. God damn it. Doug Gottlieb got absolutely eviscerated by Adam Schefter. Scotty, do you have this? Can you pull this up? Doug Gottlieb, for those who don't know, host on Fox Sports Radio, and he also is the coach of the. No, he's still there.
I thought he quit once he got his job.
No.
Maybe that's the problem.
Yeah, he's doing his radio show plus coaching the University of Wisconsin Green Bay.
What is wrong with Wisconsin Green Bay?
If you're Wisconsin Green Bay, you got 2 claims to fame. Tony Bennett went there, and then you got Doug Gottlieb coaching. That's all you got. Jesus. That's all you got. But apparently, there was a story going around. Michael Vick, Norfolk State, as far as I know, hasn't put out the official release yet. But Michael Vick hired his head coach at Norfolk State for football. There was some reports that Sacramento State was interested in his services. Adam Schefter had put out a report that Sacramento State had $50 million in NIL funds, and they were going to make a run after Michael Vick. Doug Gottlieb, long story short, essentially responded back with, they don't have $50 million. I have 0.0 chance. And then Adam Schefter just buried him. This was before the loss yesterday. Mentioned that Doug Gottlieb's Green Bay Phoenix team had lost 7 in a row, and they were at the bottom of the Horizon League. He was like, maybe you should stick to your day job or something like that, like doing Fox Sports Radio. Doug Gottlieb didn't make things worse yesterday. After getting bodied that way, he made things worse before the game. Oh, you got it here. Here, pull that graphic up.
Took me a while to scroll through everything. Let's see. Share screen.
He's on his Commodore 64.
See that?
You got
all right, so here's the
make it bigger. That's what she said.
Can't get much bigger than that. That's what she said. No.
That's what.
Here is the Schefter tweet. Sacramento State is in discussions to hire Vic, like you just said, blah, 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 building a new stadium, has over $50 million in NIL. And then for some reason, Gottlieb came on here and said, Jesus, Shefty, edit what they just tell you. 0% chance Sac State has $50 million in NIL. So then, can you see the Schefter tweet here?
Yeah, zoom in a little bit.
So then Shefty comes in and says, I don't know what the Sac 12 is, but they're leading the schools NIL.
That's their NIL program.
Okay. They already announced they've reached its initial goal of raising $50 million for NIL. And then he could have left it alone there. But apparently, I guess Schefter just does not like these dudes because he adds this just to be petty, which is awesome. And Jesus, Doug, a 7-game losing streak and last place in the Horizon League, less time on social media and more time in the gym. And then went through the effort of actually posting the standings here, showing him 0-3 in conference, 2-10 overall in the Horizon League.
Things got worse for Doug yesterday, though, because that happened. What's the day? Today's Thursday. That happened on Tuesday. So then yesterday, Doug Gottlieb and his Green Bay Phoenix hosted Michigan Tech. Now, I forget Michigan Tech's nickname, but they are actually a decent Division II basketball program. It was a bye game, which they lost to Michigan Tech. But before the game, Doug said these comments.
tiers on who to schedule, like nobody. Part of the reason I want to play better teams is like it's 2 degrees outside, snowing. Like I don't really like the idea of nobody you coming in here and like I always thought like what do we learn playing a game where we win by 20? But there's a methodology to it, and I'm going to have to adjust moving forward. Tiers.
Yeah. So
Bro, he's the coach for Green Bay. He is nobody you. Who the fuck is Green Bay? Most people don't even know that Green Bay has a college, much less a fucking basketball team. What? All right. I don't know what this guy. Okay, first of all, I know this might seem crazy, but I think the Schefter thing and maybe that, I do think it can hurt him in recruiting because none of these recruits know who Doug Gottlieb is. If they go and Google or go on Twitter and search Gottlieb, they're gonna see 3 things. They're gonna see the Schefter thing where he just got annihilated by one of the most famous sports reporters in the world, and then he's gonna see that fucking cringe ass joke he tried to make on the CBS basketball thing where he was like, "Oh, I'm just bringing diversity, given the white man's perspective," and the joke just bombed. And then they're gonna see that when he was in college, he stole somebody's credit card and got kicked out. So why would you want to go for that guy? What are you doing? You're at a small school. Why are you even commenting about another small school's NIL and how they don't have the money? You don't have the money either. So why are you even commenting on that? Like, what are you doing? You're at Green Bay. You're making the nobody you comment. You're at Green Bay.
Bro.
You are nobody you to all the power fours. Like, what? It's so unlikable. I don't.
Did a quick Google search. He's going through a midlife crisis. He got divorced a couple years ago after 21 years. He took this job because he needed something to fucking do. He is struggling in the life department, and it is showing. His mental health is declining in real time. And
I'm not that guy I'm not that guy to tell people, athletes or coaches, to not post on Twitter and act like they should only be doing things that goes to the job. But don't go at Adam Schefter, of all people. Don't go at another small school talking shit about their NIL when you're the coach for Green Bay basketball. Like, have some self-awareness. What are we doing? I can't hear you, Leon.
Yeah, your mic is dead.
Unmute your headset, sir.
I muted myself. After yesterday's 72-70 loss at home to Michigan Tech, Doug Gottlieb had his radio show to do after that. And this, for me, is the piece de resistance after that loss. Because I would imagine, what are you going to say? I didn't see his post-game. I don't know how much of a post-game press conference there is after you lose to Michigan Tech. So he had this radio show coming up. What would be said on there?
Just
New Drive Sports Radio Show from the TireRack.com.
Turn it up.
Radio Studios. Bang, bang, won't stop till
That's about as loud as it is.
Can you fast forward? What's going on?
NFL All-Pro safety, Kerry Rhodes.
You missed it, Scotty, as you just talked over it. He didn't show up for his radio show yesterday. Here.
And you shouldn't have. Pull the hot tour girl going radio silent since her crypto scam.
But yes.
Just disappear. That's what you should have done.
Missed his radio show. Now, albeit it could have been a scheduled miss. Maybe, I don't know what his schedule is, if to talk to the team afterwards or their sponsor things or post-game stuff he's got to do. I haven't listened to Fox Sports Radio since I left radio myself, so I don't know what time the show actually comes on. But yeah, that's a bad look, dude. His Green Bay Phoenix are 2-11 right now, 1-5 at home. They are back in action. When's the 21st? Is that Sunday? They're at Drake Sunday at 6. So
Drake's gonna smoke.
Yeah, Drake is 10-0. You can go ahead and take Drake minus the 8,000, whatever it's going to be.
Green Bay be lucky to score 40 in that one.
All right, before we got
he should resign and write a book about how to get people to not like you.
Chris will co-author it.
Wow. Wow.
Boy.
Maybe
All right.
I'm not self-aware because I thought people liked me.
Oh, well, it's okay. We all have to learn at some point. All right. Let's get to some non-sports stuff here. Non-sports news, weird news, brought to you by Hayway Golf. You can find them on Instagram at Hayway, HEYGUEY Golf. If you have a lab putter, they can make you a putter cover for it. Up and coming company. They are. We have a symbiotic relationship with them. If you would like to pay us actual American currency, though, and sponsor this, you can send an email to hit us up at Let's Not Do This Podcast.
Hey, where's the logo? You didn't put the logo in yet?
I forgot to do that.
We need to get him to get a promo code with Let's Not Do This.
We need to get that going. Yeah, we'll get that. Well, Chris, we were in the pre-show meeting. We were talking about a lot of different things, and the topic of dumps came up. Now, our dear friend Ryan, who's taking a sabbatical from the podcast right now, he will take a dump anywhere and everywhere at any given time. But even I think that this might be a little much for him here. Would you take a dump in India at a bathroom?
If I was there, I guess I don't have a choice.
Yeah, what are you gonna wait till you fly back?
Yes, there's a whole episode of Seinfeld where George
Can't wait that
did
long.
not take a dump in India and was holding it the entire time they went to a wedding.
Jesus Christ.
Between that episode of Seinfeld and this, if I ever find myself in India, I'm not taking a dump. For those of you that are listening and not watching, there's a gentleman that I assume is in the toilet there and about to pitch one off, and there's a goddamn tiger coming through the wall.
Hey, the tiger looked very friendly. He's just popping in to say hello.
Domesticated for sure.
He must have just eaten because he didn't look very menacing at all. He was just poking his head in. He was curious to see what was going on.
You think he
he
was
licked his
checking to make
paws.
sure there was enough toilet paper in there for him?
He licked his paws and he said goodbye. He was very polite tiger.
That was staged.
You think it
Maybe.
was staged? Were you sick? Were you sick?
Did you hear that?
Roy?
You hear the
Very
noises? He was like, ah, like he.
I mean, what the fuck would you
Wasn't
say if
scared.
tiger was? If
Yeah,
a
I wouldn't go,
tiger
ah.
poked his head?
I don't speak Hindi. All right. I don't speak Hindi. I don't know what the guy was saying. I mean, that could have been like "holy shit, motherfucker" in Hindi for all I know.
That might be racist.
It could be, but I don't know what he was saying. Okay. All I know is if I'm about to pinch one off and there's a tiger coming through a wall, I'm gonna hold it and I'm running out of there. And unlike what's his name, AJ Hawk, it's not gonna take me 100 wipes.
What's the most amount of wipes you ever did in your life, AJ?
I mean, who knows? Probably upwards of 100.
100 wipes in one shit?
I'm 40 years old now, so I've had a lot of time on Earth. So I would.
No, he's talking about for one shit.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
100 wipes?
Okay, 50.
50 wipes? What the hell is happening?
Let's say 40.
40
then, so we're not
wipes?
exaggerating.
At least 40.
Dude, you're doing 40 wipes?
There's those sticky ones. You have no idea where it's coming from. It just keeps coming.
You're pooping in your hand. That's what you guys are doing.
I'm not using my hand. I'm using toilet paper.
Go ahead and get yourself some Dingle Bells dude wipes. Not only does it
time.
smell fantastic, but it also 40 wipes.
After 20, you're probably asking your dad to spray you down with the hose when it comes to that.
How do blind people know when they're done wiping?
Taste.
No one said taste.
I've probably been around the 50 to 75 mark before I figured it out.
He knows.
When my kids were young, I used to go sneak their wipe, then throw it in the old container there.
Diaper genie.
And they're like, wow, that
gross.
smells. And I'm like, well, I don't know. It gets stink.
You animal. That's for kids poop.
These kids are taking human-sized dumps.
Pat
Well,
back
at least
on
we're
the
not the
show.
only. least we're not the only ones talking about poops. We used to do it like every week. We used to talk about poops.
Sphincters a lot. That clip courtesy of the Pat McAfee show. Of course, Pat, AJ, and the boys, JJ Watt on there, and then the big fat guy that was talking about poops, Mark Kabuli, who is their special correspondent for the Pittsburgh Steelers. You know that guy has blown up a bathroom at Acrisure
with a last name like that. Yeah,
yeah,
he's got a poopy last name.
Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Well, here's a shitty situation that someone found themselves in. Have you guys seen those Google cars, like those Google Maps cars?
Yes.
Yes.
Like going out and about canvassing neighborhoods. Well, there was a gentleman that apparently he's going to jail now because of one of these. Now, this is not the actual graphic for the picture, but I typed into Grok, man getting arrested for a criminal act that Google Maps car caught him doing, and that's what it decided to give me.
Do you have the picture?
Yes, I have the actual picture here.
Okay.
This is a gentleman in Spain.
This is real. So this guy was a suspect in a murder or disappearance. I guess they didn't know if the guy was actually murdered, but he was a suspect or a person of interest, whatever you want to call it, in a small town in Spain for a missing person. And then I don't know exactly how this came about or was found, but this is real. They found this on Google Street. And yeah, this is the guy. This is a suspect putting a fucking body in his car. And he was arrested, and like his girlfriend or somebody was also arrested. But yeah, so next time you're putting a body in a car, make sure the fucking Google Street car isn't in your neighborhood riding around. They also said this was the first time.
Fucking broad daylight.
I guess when you're in a tiny town, and they said this was the first time in 15 years that the Google car has come to their town. So I guess when you're in a little town in Spain, I guess you feel like you can do whatever you want. It's a very, I forget what it's called, a very small town in Spain.
Yeah, I mean, like that makes no sense to me. Whatever. It kind of reminds me of that scene from the Departed. You guys seen the Departed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just saw that for the first time a couple years ago. So my opinions don't matter because I didn't like it. But yeah,
you're an awful, terrible person. But it reminds me of the scene from the Departed.
Replacement for the city of Boston.
I don't believe it. I spent all fucking night dragging the poor bastard in there. Tell me how they found him so fast. Somebody walking a fucking dog in 3 feet of mud. What kind of fucking size of dog is that? Has to be a big fucking dog, man. I spent all fucking night doing it, man. I'm embarrassed. I still don't believe he was a cop. I don't believe it.
Yeah.
Just off scene, you see Matt Damon loudly whip out his flip phone and hitting buttons in secret and acting like nobody can see him or hear him.
I had that phone. That movie came out when I was in college. I thought I was the coolest motherfucker ever because I had that phone.
You weren't. You weren't.
There's certain movies and shows that there's just something that I can't get past, and that was it when I watched it. Just like the whole half the movie is just him on that phone. Beep, 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 beep.
Well, I mean,
like nobody's gonna notice.
It was still less conspicuous than shoving a goddamn body into the back of what is this? A fucking like 1992 Honda Accord on a Spanish street.
It's a
Honda Rover.
I don't think is it a Honda?
Is that a Honda? I thought I was an H. Maybe not.
It might be a Honda. Yeah, it's a Rover. I don't know what the hell that is. You know, they release some cars only in like the European market and
Quick
stuff.
Google search.
You know,
it's that's an actual brand, Rover. It's a British brand.
That's not a Range Rover.
Rover. It's just a Rover, not Range Rover. Rover is the brand. Yeah.
Yeah, the Rover. Yeah.
Okay. Well, look. If the Google Street View thing existed, like in the mafia days, like in the heyday, you know how much shit those things would have caught. Also, you know how many bullets those things would have had.
This guy's obviously not in the mafia. Those guys would be smart enough to know they would see the car coming. Like, hey, let's wait till the Google car leaves before we put the dead body in the trunk.
Before I stick the body into the trunk of the car. Well, you know what he should have did? He should have taken that body and taken it to this funeral home in Ohio because they've applied for a liquor license. So you guys know me. When I die, which will probably be not too long from now, I want a party. I want people to have a kegger. I want just a debaucherous just crazy Animal House type party. And you guys might want to call these guys here. There is a funeral home in Ohio. It's called Evergreen. I pulled this from Google Maps, actually, so you can't quite see it. But it's called Evergreen Funeral Crematorium and Reception in Columbus, Ohio. Of course, it's in Columbus because nothing else to do there. But they want to be a party planner for the dead. They're going to open the state's first bereavement center with booze. Hunter Triplett, who, by the way, sounds like a little shit. My role in this position is to be kind of a party planner for the dead, he told WSYX. He wants more of a celebration of life than more of the multi-day traditional services. Who the hell has – I've never been to a funeral in my life, so I have no idea. Who has multi-day – oh, yeah, I deal with death by avoiding it. So yeah. So who the hell has multi-day? Like, is it like an Indian wedding where it goes like a cricket match where it's like 7 days?
I did see a clip of Bad Friends, and they have Bobby Lee's, I guess his ex's like niece or whoever it is, but she's from the Philippines.
Rudy.
And she was saying they have like a week like celebration of life when somebody dies.
Jesus.
Like a week-long funeral, basically.
Yeah, I mean, they have viewings and then the actual service the next day or a couple days later. So they may have a few days worth of viewings, depending on how much money these people have.
Well,
so this is how you want to go out?
This is how I want to go out.
In Ohio?
No, not in Ohio. If someone buries me in Ohio, I promise you this right now. I will haunt every motherfucker on the face of the earth. I don't even want to be buried. If my ashes make it to the state of Ohio, I don't care if they're being driven through Ohio. I don't care if they're being flown over Ohio. If my ashes come into the airspace of the state of Ohio, I'm haunting everybody. I can tell you that now.
We got a mission.
Ohio.
Yeah. So this is
We're gonna steal them.
This is Hunter Triplett, which I told you he's a little shit. I mean, look at him.
I can tell by his hair.
He's
like
got a very
Ohio
punchable
State
face.
recruit. Yeah.
Yeah. He says that we will only be serving alcohol when people are on the premises and remain on the premises until the continuation of the services, just for the safety of the people in the community around. His family apparently bought this property back in 2015. A funeral home bar would not only allow mourners to send off their loved ones in spirit of festivity, but help them save possibly thousands by rolling the whole funeral experience. Wake, service, burial, reception into one package. And apparently this was an old chocolate factory. So when Grandpa Ed kicks the bucket, you can take him here. Everyone gets hopped up on, Great Lakes beer, and maybe he's being cremated. I don't know if they got a crematorium in the back, but where they were making chocolate years ago, you can fry his ass back there.
This is a terrible idea. What happens when Jim Bob kicks the bucket and then Shonda comes up, who's not his wife, but his wife, Debbie Ann, is in the front pew, and then Bobby Sue rolls in, and he's banging all of them, and there's liquor flowing. It's going to be an all-out brawl. This is a terrible idea. Well, Chris, then Jim Bob's going to fall out of the casket because somebody's going to fall into it.
Chris, I'm glad you thought about that. I'm glad you thought about that. Remember, this is Ohio. These people are stupid. All you have to do is play that dumbass Hang On Sloopy song, and all the fucking idiots do their O-H-I-O bullshit, and they'll forget all about it. Because those people there, the epitome of education in Ohio is to being able to spell your 4-letter state name. That's the epitome of education there. So these are the people that you're dealing with.
You brought up Willy Wonka. This is like if Stephen King did Willy Wonka.
So
also that guy looked like Anthony Calandria a little bit.
Oh my! Hey, he is in the transfer portal. Anthony Calandria is in the transfer portal. Maybe it won't let me go backwards. I don't know why, but I can't go back.
Because you're done.
Yeah.
Also, I saw where he was visiting. I guess he wants to be a backup quarterback. So, I mean, good for him, I guess.
Yeah, good for him. But so if they get approved, they'll be permitted to sell beer, wine, and hard liquor. So, take some shots. And he mentioned everything all in one. How many other people are going to wind up in the grave from alcohol poisoning? So maybe this is a brilliant business idea.
So
you get multiple funerals in the same day.
Going with what Chris was saying, if you have the right amount of security there, I think this is a great idea. But you need to have guys there to because somebody might get carried away and bring up some old family beef or something.
So you got the Undertaker in the front doing the service and the big boss man in the back holding it down.
Yeah. Hey, Big Boss Man couldn't protect his dad's funeral when Big Show. No, it was the other way around. Big Show drove Big Boss Man's dad's casket. Goddamn, wrestling used to be great. Last thing on this article from the New York Post. People say when we go in, we want to have a party atmosphere, more of a celebration. So we decided to put a bar in. This was a place back in Minnesota in 2017 that does it. People used to say, I can't believe you used to keep the hearses in here, or say, I think I can smell something. And apparently there's a funeral home in Rhode Island where they converted a garage into a fully functioning pub, which mourners often pour into once they finish the funeral service. That is smart because you know what? Funeral's done. Come next door and get a drink. That's what Chris would have wanted,
Correct.
Chris,
but you gotta have a a place for smoking cigarettes too for Chris.
Oh yeah.
It's gotta
have somebody at the tobacco company when they come around and sell you cigarettes.
You know what?
Gotta have somebody like that.
When Chris kicks the bucket, we're just going to go to a bar and just collect.
Who is we? Bitch, you're dying way before I am.
Yeah, and just collect all the ashtrays, and we're just going to dump it all in there.
Gotta start a Deadpool. If we actually get some fans, we're gonna have a Deadpool for you.
All right, last thing before we get out of here, America right now is encompassed by drones. I don't know what's going on here. I actually use Grok to make this graphic, which I actually think is pretty good.
But how soon until they started charging again for it?
What, Grok?
Get everybody hooked.
Oh yeah, well that's like a drug dealer. First one's free. You know. I'm surprised. You see these drones, they're like over the Northeast. I think they've been in San Diego. I see some things where they've been in England over bases, like all over the world. Mainly it's like military installations and stuff. Obviously, like in America, the military just can't like open fire. They got to get clearance on things. There's a lot of hoops to go through. These drones have not shown up over Alabama and Kentucky and stuff. You know what I mean? Like usually it's Jethro that gets abducted. You
need Wi-Fi for it. That's probably why.
That's very true. That's very true. But if these things showed up over the deep south, Cletus right here is going to blast them fuckers out of the sky.
Yeah, they're not worried about those inbred morons.
What do you guys think is going on though? For real? Like, are these aliens? Is it military? What do you guys think?
I have no idea. Like we were talking about this earlier. I've seen more people talking about the drones than I've actually seen coverage of the actual drones. So I honestly have no idea what the fuck's going on. So you tell me, where are the drones?
There were some off the coast of Virginia the other day. A lot of them have been in the New York, New Jersey area. A friend of mine that works in radio in San Diego posted on his feed the other day. A coworker of his had one over his house that was near a military installation there. It is interesting. Chris, do you think these are aliens? Is it something? Is it government?
No,
is it an enemy?
It's
why would aliens fly drones?
It's not. Yeah, it's not the aliens. It's probably Amazon. They're trying to figure out how to do things without people because they're all striking right now.
Speaking of which, I work behind Amazon, and I saw the protesters. They were still there when I left work too.
They just approved drone delivery, I think, down in Dallas or Austin or something. So they got to figure something out because we're not fucking with them anymore.
Okay. I think it's aliens. I really do, and I think this is the first. I think this is the first wave. Okay, and you know what? They want to normalize us toward it. Hey, we're used to these things in the air, no big deal. Then in like 2 months, the mothership is coming. It's going to be Independence Day 3. I usually say electric boogaloo, but that rhymes with two. So yeah, it's going to be Independence Day, all right? And it's going to be some shit, all right? We're going to have everyone's going to band together. And maybe this is what we need for the world. Everyone bands together.
If aliens are real, they're smarter than that. They're not going to use drones. Are you one of those people that thought RFK was going to come back?
No, I'm not one of those people. Why would
you sound like that? You sound like that.
Why wouldn't the aliens use a drone though? That way, you send out the technology. There's like little scouts. You do a little spying. And
because their technology is more advanced than us.
Yeah,
they're
if
smarter
aliens
than that.
got here and that we haven't detected them, then we're not going to know they're here.
They're going to use something we already have.
Maybe they want. That's what I'm saying. You see the drones where we can see. They want us to know, hey, we can wipe you out like this. So then when they come and they come with the big guns, then we're under their thumb. This is Kang and Kodos from The Simpsons. This is their first wave. It's the exploratory. It's like it's like in Jamestown days and stuff. You didn't send the whole ship out at once to shore. You sent a couple of rowboats.
I was thinking Jonestown when you said that. I was like, oh, shit.
I do talk about Jonestown a lot. I do talk. Yeah.
Either way, if
it's not aliens,
please just fucking take us out already. I can't do this anymore.
It might just be somebody. It might just be some fucking Reddit group fucking around. Who knows?
Chris, if the aliens remove all the nicotine in this world, what would you do?
What?
If they came here to like purify us and they got rid of like all the tobacco and nicotine, like what would you do? Could you live in this world?
If they were purifying us, they would take out the liquor too.
That's why we got the funeral home. See how it all ties in? We have the funeral home that's going to let us have one big last bash before the aliens fuck us up.
Yeah, please just take us out. This shit ain't.
It's not
this isn't it.
Yeah. Well,
it might be Elon.
Could be. You know what? It could be aliens marketing this podcast for us right now. Maybe if we can like hack into those things and beam this podcast around, it'd be great. Let's figure that shit out.
It's not aliens.
All right. On that unfortunate note, make sure to join us back here Saturday morning, 9 a.m. sharp for Doing Lines. We'll get you ready for the upcoming week in the National Football League, and we'll also talk about the college football playoffs as well. And who knows, I may have a prop for some European soccer. I don't know. We'll see. Scotty, you can go ahead and bump us out of here. Like, subscribe, be a friend, tell a friend. Don't cost you nothing. It helps us. And be like our good friend, Justin Jeff. Thank you, buddy, for commenting. And
we shit on the Broncos.
For commenting. Always appreciate that. Helps get those engagement numbers up. We will see you guys right back here Saturday morning, 9 a.m. for Doing Lines. So next time, keep your stick on the ice.
Yeah, don't talk about soccer props. We're trying to gain followers.
Come on, aliens.